Hi, I'm Tristan Clifton, and this is my presentation of my final project for embedded systems development. As you can see, in your view, you can currently see my web interface for scheduling times on the irrigation system. When the page loads, it fills the table with the values gathered from the device. It also takes an instant sensor reading of all the sensors connected to the system and shows them as an output here. This is so if you choose to make use of the auto start, you can get an idea of what the parameters are in the current environment and set your auto start accordingly. So for example, I now know it's currently 10 degrees in here. So if I wanted to make it automatically start at 2 degrees for the sake, or 0 degrees for the sake of dealing with frost, I could set it to a duration of 10 minutes if the temperature hits 2 degrees, and then have it auto start when it hits that threshold, which could be used as a way of dealing with frost and preventing plants from dying. Because I'm currently using Firefox, the time input isn't as fantastic as it can be. If you use something like Internet Explorer or even a mobile phone, you actually get a full UI when entering times. But however, because I'm on Firefox, I need to enter the times manually. So if I set a time for 11:02 AM and set it 11:03 AM, this should automatically start the device at 11:02 AM and then turn off the device at 11:03 AM. So if I hit update schedule, it will say at the very top of the status is currently watering, which is in the status of no, and once it hits that time threshold, it will turn on. This is the return of the device. So if you try to update the device and the device is off, instead of call completed, it will say something along the lines of error 400, device not found, or something along those lines. So you can entirely manage the device from this interface. Now I'll explain the oh yes, as you can see, the pump has just turned on. I hope you can hear that, because it's currently hit the time for the time in the schedule. So how this device works is I have my particle argon hooked up to its various sensors, and then the particle argon sends a on signal to the Arduino. When the Arduino gets the on signal, it powers a solenoid, which then in turn, using a 12-volt power supply, turns on the pump. Ideally, I'd rather have a much larger pump, but for the sake of this project, I used a small 24-volt pump connected to a relay that I could trigger with the Arduino. This device there you go. Since roughly a minute has passed, the device is turned off. The issue I had when implementing this solution is the particle argon device actually produces a very, very low power signal. This signal wasn't actually strong enough to turn on the solenoid that I used in order to activate the pump. So I had to use a transistor connected to the 5-volt line of the Arduino as a form of input switch, which the Arduino recognizes as a digital pin high status. It then outputs 5 volts to the solenoid, which in turn is actually enough to turn on the pump. I hope you have enjoyed my demonstration of my implementation of my final project for embedded systems development. Thank you for watching.